Welcome back to LearnPianoLive.com. My name is Jamin, and as you can tell from the countdown clock, the lesson is about to get started. In case you're new with this, there's a few things I'd like to show you to help you throughout the lesson. These lessons are always guided and shaped by your questions, and if you're live with us today, there's a couple different ways you can do that. One is in the public live chat, and the other is the Ask Jamin a Question button, where you can ask me a question privately, and I won't share your identity in case you're afraid that your question is stupid. But it's not. If you're in the archives, though, then just open up the survey. At the end of that, there's a place where you can ask your question. I will say I frequently get questions from students in the archives watching a lesson from 6 months ago, and I have no idea what they're talking about. So please try to be as specific as possible. If you're watching this at LearnPianoLive.com, there should be a PDF and an MP3 button right next to this video. The PDF will often have additional video links inside, so you can get more in-depth instruction on each of the topics. And if you're the kind of person who likes to print out the PDF so you can make the same notes on your physical version as I'm making during the lesson, now would be the time to do that. The MP3 is just a play-along track so you can practice more after the lesson. In traditional lessons, a teacher is going to actually present some new concept for maybe 5 or 10 minutes every couple of weeks. The rest of the time is going to be spent applying and refining those concepts. Well, here I'm spouting off hours of new information every week. So it's totally unreasonable to expect you to actually absorb all of that. Instead, the goal of these live lessons is for you to find some little nugget of something that makes sense, but is a bit of a challenge, and for you to go practice it, because practice is where all the improvement's going to happen. So don't feel bad if you have to leave the live lesson and you find that little thing that you're going to practice. And of course, if I'm going too fast, you can always rewind the live lessons or replay in the archives as much as you want. If these live lessons start feeling random or meandering, it's because they are, on purpose. So if you're the kind of person who wants classical training with a step-by-step method, then you're going to want to check out Kloppel Academy on the website. It's included in your live lesson subscription, so you can do both or either. And the upper levels are seriously hard work, but it's going to take you all the way from ground zero all the way up to being ready to enter any major music college as a piano major in classical or jazz. And finally, it's most people's favorite. This is application, where we take the past concepts from other live lessons and we see how they apply to an actual real song that already exists. And since there's like 1,000 different ways to play any song, you're just going to work on the version that is appropriate for your level. So that might just mean playing one note at a time for right now. Or maybe you're working on chords or covering the full song. Or maybe you're just seeing how the song breaks down so you can better write and transcribe your own songs in the future. But whatever your level is, the goal is not this song. So even if you don't play the whole entire song, you'll get better by even attempting a little bit of it, and attempt it we shall. We'll do something like that today. Welcome back, everybody. Today we're doing a song called Work Song by, I believe, Nat Adderley, although the Cannonball Adderley, they were brothers. Cannonball wasn't his real name. Nat Adderley, I believe, wrote this song, and Cannonball Adderley was the one that does the version that I'm most familiar with. But let's start out right here at the very beginning part. We need an F to start off this song for the word break. That's how the whole thing starts. And that is, by the way, maybe we're dealing with, hang on a second, we got some sound stuff going on. Okay, let me know how this sound is for you guys in the chat. That'd be cool. So then right here for the word break, we need an F. And if you don't know where an F is, this chart up here will help you. It's any group of 3 black notes, like those ones right there, or those ones, or those ones. Just take the lowest note, the one that's farthest to the left, and drag that down until you hit a white note, and you'll land on an F every single time. In fact, let me go to the close-up here so you can see this. There we go. So we've got a group of 3 black notes. You take the note on the left and you drag it down a little bit more. You land on an F every single time. There's only 7 letters in the musical alphabet: A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And we're back up to A, B, C, D, E, F, G, and it just repeats over and over. And every single time you hit a group of 3, that one right there is going to be an F. So we're going to start right there. We're going to play actually 2 of them and say breaking. Cool. All right, we're already starting to play this song. Yes, we will get to the chords and the soloing and all that stuff later on. The next note that we need is an A flat. So as we said before, we'd go F, G, A to find an A. But we need an A flat. That's what that little half of a heart on a string is about right there. So instead of playing an A, we're gonna play the note that's slightly lower than A, as this note right here. That note is called A flat. So we're gonna play two Fs and then an A flat. Breaking rocks. Saying the words out loud is probably gonna help. F, F, A flat, breaking rocks. All right, Sarah, you're too kind. Thank you. Then the next one is B flat. So this would be a B right here, and you probably already guessed this note right here is gonna be a B flat. It's probably gonna make sense in your head long before it makes sense in your hands. So you'll know what to play before you can play it. That's why your assignment is always to find just some little nugget that you can work on here, and then just go practice that thing. So maybe just finding the first few notes of this is a good enough assignment for you for this week. But breaking rocks out is the beginning part of it. And as you could hear, usually the song's played pretty quickly. So even if you can play those notes, it's gonna take some practice before you can play them up to speed. All right, speaking of speed, we're gonna pick it up just a little bit here for those of you who already know your notes. Here is gonna be a C, breaking rocks out here. And already this song sounds pretty cool. That's because it uses something called a blues scale that we'll probably talk about later. But breaking rocks out here. If you just get that much, that's already a really great lick. Another C for on the chain, and then up to an E flat for gang. So that line right there is pretty important to the song. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang. Yeah, that takes some practice, but it sounds really awesome. The thing I did at the beginning, I think, was I just played the same exact thing in both hands. That's another set of practice. That's a whole other assignment. But yeah, just that right there sounds pretty cool. You could just play that over and over through the song and it would sound good. Is that true? It might be true. Let's find out later when we do the solo. This next one is going to be similar-ish because it starts out with the same four notes. Breaking rocks and. So it's still F, F, A flat, B flat. But then it's going to go back to the F for serving, down to E flat, and then up to F for those ones. And you can see here, the F is supposed to go down to an E flat and then up to an F. Whereas before, we were going from a C up to an E flat. So if you follow the ups and the downs here, it'll tell you whether you're going up or going down. All right, up is to the right, down is to the left. All right, cool. We're doing pretty well with this song. We're only a few minutes in here, and we've already got the first two lines down, at least in our head, if not in our hands. This next one's the exact same thing that you played at the very beginning. Same words, same notes, same rhythms, everything. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang. Line 3 is the same as line 1. Great, cool. Line 4 is not the same as anything, but it doesn't have a whole lot of notes in it either. It's gonna go back down to the C right here. They convicted me. Now this one right here has this symbol right here, and that's a natural sign. You'll notice there's no flat sign or anything inside this E. It's just a regular, natural, plain old E. Nothing special about it, not sharp, not flat. Because this one over here was flat. So they're going, all right, so in case you're getting too used to these E flats, this one, watch out, it's not flat. It's the regular white note E. They convicted me of a crime. That's line 4, and we're over halfway done, I think. Exactly halfway done. Cool. This one right here is also going to be a really great line. So this next thing right here, you might want to just practice this because it's a great blues line. But we'd go up to the high F. This is the highest note we've had so far in the song. We play F, E flat, B flat. Kind of a big jump there, kind of weird. Probably when you're playing it on the piano, I'd recommend you use pinky, ring, and pointer, and also notice how far up into these notes I am. Beginner students, you're usually trying to like play the black notes right here and play the white notes right here. When you watch me play, my hand's way up in there because I want to be able to hit the black notes and the white notes equally. So I'm playing more like in this territory right in here, almost like on average, I'm right in there. So some of my black notes are playing way up in there. That's gonna make that way easier because trying to play that one there and then that one there and then that one there, that's kind of tricky. So hold it steady. Now, if you want to, you can just play the ones that have the words here because that's gonna be like the main sound of the song. So if you took out these notes right here and just went steady right there, it would be hold it steady right there. Hold it steady right there. That's great. We do this other jazz thing right here where we play a C flat. The C flat is not the jazzy part. That's just the annoying part. But the little turnaround guy right in here where you add in a bunch of notes that don't actually have their own words. They're all part of steady. So we played B flat. The annoying part that I said is C flat, because if you go to C and then you try to go down to the black note, you'll notice there is no black note there. So C flat is this note right here. I don't know. Some brains just broke right now. This is a B. It's also a C flat, and they call this C flat here for reasons that are important and are helpful later on. At the beginning, they're just annoying. So it could just say B, but instead it says C flat. Okay, so we have B flat, C flat, B flat, A flat. So like I said, the word is steady. And this other little thing is just a little decoration. Steady, steady. So it's like cramming in all those guys when you're aiming for that A flat. So B flat and aim for the A flat. Steady, 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 steady. That'll take some practice, or not. You can just ignore it and it's still gonna sound great. Hold it steady right there. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's a little bit jazzy, a lot jazzier. It's a lot harder. So yeah, pick your battles. And then the finish of that is not nearly as difficult. While I hit it. So your options here for this line right here are hold it steady right there while I hit it, or hold it steady right there while I know it sounds a lot better with the thing in there, but anyway, do what you want to do. If you've already got an assignment to practice, ignore all that. We'll have another one later on in like 2 lines or something. Well, I reckon that ought to get it been. So the lyrical phrase stops right there, but you'll notice that the notes kind of go straight through. So even though there should be some punctuation there for the lyrics, those go back and forth. F, E flat, F, E flat, F. So, well, I reckon that ought to get it been. Cool. B natural, you already know this one. That one right there, it is not the B flat. Workin', been working. It sounds terrible, and it goes with the song really well because it's all like weird and off and tricky, and it's like this little like half step thing that doesn't really fit into the rest of the song. I'm sorry, it doesn't really fit into the key. It fits very well into the song. Been working. Here's that C flat again. Stupid C flat. So we have starting at been back here. We have been working. Been working. Okay. Last little phrase of the thing starts right here. Little. Last big phrase of the thing. But I still got so tear. Yeah, optional notes there. Terribly. There we go. Terribly. It's hard to do it slowly. You know, terribly far to go. All right, so, but I still got so terribly far to go. That's the one. That's the end thing. And again, you can just ignore that C flat and play terribly far to go. That would still sound perfectly fine. All of it all together, I'm going to try to say the words. It's not going to go well, but theoretically, this is some of how this song is supposed to go. Along with your track, it would sound like this. It's fast. Breaking rocks and serving my time. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang. They convicted me of a crime. Hold it steady right there. Well, I reckon. Working, but I still got to. Yeah,
okay, it's crazy fast, but you can play the slow version. So if you go back to the beginning of the lesson, I played a really slow version, and it sounded like a really slow blues thing because it was a really slow blues thing. So hopefully there's something in there to work on. If not, then we will be adding chords and stuff very soon. But first, I wanted to show you our feature of the day. This has nothing to do with anything except that it's a really cool album that I wanted to share with you. This was important to me in my much, much younger years. Bobby McFerrin, I think he's conducting an orchestra, and this was cool to me because I generally don't like classical music. I dislike it, I just don't find any enjoyment out of it. But this was like one of my introductions to like some of the playfulness and pleasure that is in classical, because it comes across to me as like it can be like, you know, old and like it has to be played a certain way, like there's a right way to play it, and that really grates against my ears. But anyway, so this one, like, he sings along. It's like classical music, but he's singing along, like singing the violin parts and stuff like that. It's really like goofy and fun and quite pretty. And so anyway, it was an important album to me, and if that sounds interesting to you, then go check it out. If not, then let's go to the intermediate version of Work Song. So it's time to transition into the intermediate portion of the lesson. And of course, intermediate is a worthless term because we're all intermediate players. Everybody, you and I included, have people who are looking up to us, who are thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. And you and I both have people that we're looking up to, thinking, man, if I could play like that person, then I could call myself a real musician. So this is just the part of the lesson where you have permission, if you have found some little nugget of something that is difficult to do, but that makes sense, to take off and go practice it. Don't feel bad about that. Of course, if you want to stick around, you might pick up some extra stuff too, and we'd love to keep chatting with you. But I just want to let all of the new students know you're not supposed to try everything in every lesson. And I want to give everybody else a chance to go get something to drink and take a bathroom break. But it's time to get back to it. Let's go. From the chat, yes, that is the same Bobby McFerrin from Don't Worry, Be Happy, which in my opinion is an unfortunate hit that he had, because it's nothing much, in my opinion, like the rest of his work. I find him to be a terribly interesting person, and I find that song to be terribly not interesting, but a lot of fun. Super cool, fun pop song. I can see why it was a hit. But also, he's a really inspiring musician aside from that, too. Anyway, this is the intermediate version, and so we're going to go to this big scary thing and to this big scary thing. There we go. All right, so we're going to try to throw in some roots here. Don't worry about playing the full chords. We'll get that in the advanced version. And good news, there's not many roots to worry about here. So these chords are listed up above. In order to just play the roots, we're just going to play that thing right there. Just the F part of the F, whatever the rest of that thing is. We'll learn about it later. So you can just play a really low F right there. I tend to like the really low ones better because it sounds more like a bass guitar to me than if you're playing it up here. Generally, like bass lines and stuff don't sound as compelling to me in this range. So I tend to like these, but also that range, actually both of these ranges tend to feel awkward to most beginning pianists because like your hands naturally land in here. And so like this feels like the safe zone. And so when you go like here, it's like, oh, that was really low. It was really low. And then play up notes up there like, oh, that was really high. It was really high. It sounded great. That's a piano. So anyway, branch out and play your low notes low and your high notes high. But anyway, we've got the same exact notes in the melody here. This is just the way it would look on the treble clef as sheet music. So we got an F right there, and then we don't have another chord change until right here when we have a C. And so we play a C right there before they convicted me. By the way, all these squiggly marks right here, these are all rests. Anything that doesn't have a letter name inside of it, that's a rest. You're just gonna rest. You don't play anything there. But if you are playing along with the track, you're already not playing anything there. So you're already set with that. These most of these chords in this song happen in between the melody notes. So I'm gonna get pulled from YouTube if I play this guy's version of it, but I'll just play the first couple seconds of it. I think I'm allowed up like to 7 seconds or something like that. And so I'll just play the beginning of this, and you can hear like the band plays and then the melody plays, and the band hits a chord and then the melody hits. So it'd be something like this. So that's kind of the idea here is you play a chord and then ba ba da ba 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 da da chord ba ba da ba ba da and chord. Alrighty, cool. Also, maybe go from a C. This is technically supposed to be in the advanced version, but anyway, play a C first and then an F. That's the way they tend to do it. So F, breaking rocks out here on the chain gang, breaking rocks and surf. I threw in another F right here. Because it's still F, so you can play F as much as you want or as little. I like them in the breaks. Breaking rocks out here on the chain gang. C, they convicted me of a crime. And then we're back to the F. F, hold it steady right there while I hit it. Another F. Well, I reckon that ought to get it. Been working F. Been working B flat. Technically, this B flat is written right here on the word work, but usually it gets played right there on that break so that you have all the chords happening on the breaks. So been, oh, I guess have the same thing over here. Huh, I didn't even notice that one. Cool. So then this chord right here would probably go right there. Been working F, been working B flat. But I still, these ones are actually going to go, this G is probably going to go with that, and this C is probably going to go tear. And then the F could go with that one right there. So that's probably where I would play it, but I still got so terribly far to go. Maybe not. Maybe the F. This last one, I'm playing that one correctly, the way that it's written. All right, cool. There's back to that classical music thing. The right way, the way it's supposed to be, the way the composer intended. So F, breaking rocks out here on the chain gang. Another F if you want. Serving my time. Rocks out here on the chain gang. Did me of a crime. Back to the F. Hold it steady right there while I hit it. Another F if you want. Well, I reckon that ought to get it. Been working F. Been working, but I still got so terribly far to go. That's the goal for the intermediate version. That's the assignment, is to try to get the roots and the melody. That's a big deal, especially if you speed it up to the track speed. Kind of crazy. But if you play it along with these guys, you can do that, and you can also slow them down. And your track should be slowed down a little bit too, and you can go to the accompaniment version on YouTube as well and slow that down. So slow it down. Slow it down a little bit. But before we get to the advanced version, let's do the song breakdown on this song here. So I've been saying a lot about blues, so real quick, the full F blues scale, if you want it, is those notes right there. You could get through the whole entire song soloing, sounding like you know what in the world you're doing if you just stay on these notes, like almost pick them randomly. Yes, I'll prove it to you. Here's your track. Here is me playing these notes. I might, if I get aggressive, play it in multiple octaves. So this is your F blues scale: F, A flat, B flat, C, E flat, F, with the optional notes of B and E, perhaps, depending on how you want to play, but these ones mostly. All right, so here is a solo just with the blues scale only. Really super simple, trying to pick them almost at random, not doing what my ear wants to do, not playing like licks or anything that I know, just like trying to play these notes randomly. It would sound half decent, I think. That was just these notes right here. I didn't even switch octaves at all. So it's a blues scale that works on bluesy songs. And this is kind of like a, I'm going to say a 16-bar blues, and don't tell anyone that I said that. But it has definitely a very minor blues feel to it. And it's got this like really cool like call and response thing where it's like the boom, da, 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 and then you've got another call, boom, here's some notes, here's some response, here's some notes, here's some response. So it's got a lot of blues elements to it. But usually when we talk about the blues, we're talking about a 12-bar blues, and that means 12 bars means 12 measures. And this one's 16 bars, so 16 measures long. So it's like longer than a regular blues, and it also doesn't follow the same format. If you've done the blues workshop, I think you can go to learnpianolive.com/12-bar blues, all one word, 12 is a number. 12-bar blues, then we usually have like B flats and stuff, and we got to like turn around section. However, I will point out, if you have done the blues workshop, the 12-bar blues workshop, this end thing looks very, very, very much like the last 4 bars of a 12-bar blues. So we got like these other things that do the turnaround. And in case these numbers mean anything to you, this is a 2, 5, 1 in F, landing on an F minor. So it's a 2-5-1 in the key that we're in. We're going to pretend like that's a true statement. 2 is G, 5 is C, and 1 is F. That part is absolutely true. So anyway, a lot of F in there, and then we got the C. I think that's as much as we care to get into. The B flat is the 4 right here. Oh, I'll also point out that when I did the thing at the very beginning, I played this. Like, that was my call right there, which was probably like stolen a little bit from like a Monin feel. Now that I think about it, I might have been like mixing Monin and work song. Huh, that would be cool. Anyway, I'll have to work on that later. So I did go B flat to F instead of C to F, which I believe is what they do in the recording. So I think they're going like that, but I went to keep it like a more bluesy-ish feel, like a more open feel. Anyway, so that's different. That was like technically wrong or whatever, but I liked the way they sounded. That is all of the roots. That's the song breakdown. I think we're going to try the advanced version right now. Good luck to us all. Hopefully something has made sense so far, because getting into the advanced portion of the lesson, I usually don't even know what's coming up next. So this is just the time where we answer any obscure question, we follow any crazy idea that comes up, and we find out how deep this rabbit hole goes. Good luck to us all. All right, Sarah, you baited me. I'll go for it. There's nothing wrong with playing the song the right way. That's totally cool. But when I'm playing music to express myself. And so the question, like, what did the author intend, or what did the composer intend, or what did the writer intend? I don't really care, because they're in most cases dead, at least in classical music. And so I'm here expressing me, and sure, I'm expressing me through their notes or an approximation of their notes. But I've always much preferred making up my own stuff to being told that I had to play notes, not because those notes were somehow like better notes, but just because like that's the right way to do it. Like I wanted to tell my own story. I like to just communicate my own stuff here. So like if Beethoven wanted to communicate something, cool. He was alive for a little while. He got a chance to do that. And now I've got his music, and now I get to communicate my thing. And I don't much care what he thought, to a large extent. Anyway, let's play these chords. These chords over here are listed. These are just like the straight up tryouts, the 3-note chords. Now, in a lot of these cases, I've given you 4-note chords. So like back up here, this F minor 7. So that's just an F minor. So you can just go down and find F minor right here. Bam, that's F minor. And so play those 3 notes in any order that you want. F, A flat, C. On piano, there's so many options for voicing your chords, for like playing the notes wherever. Once again, this theme seems to keep coming up today. There's no right way to play an F minor here. If you got Fs and A flats and Cs, you got an F minor. So it doesn't matter what order they're in. So Fs and A flats and Cs. Now, the 7 part of F minor 7 is always the note that is a whole step lower than the root. So the root of the F is an F. The root of a C is a C. So if we go to the root and we go down 1, 2 half steps, that would be the 7 part. And if you've made it this far in the lesson and you're still playing along with me, then you are an advanced student. You probably already know this, but this is an F minor triad, 3-note chord, and this is an F minor 7, an F minor with the 7 added on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, the 7th note added in there. Okay, cool. So that's my F minor. Fortunately, that F minor is like almost the whole entire song, with the exception of this guy right here. This is a C. So then we'd have a C, and then if you want to throw in the 7, that's my root. This root of the C is a C. And so we could go down 2 half steps or 1 whole step to add in the 7 there, or you can just keep it with the C triad. That's fine too. Adding in the 7, that would make that a C7. Back to the F minor 7. Hold it right there while I hit it. So I reckon that ought to get it. Been working. This guy right here, this is a little bit of a mess. So this is an F chord, not minor. There's no minus sign and there's no little m. Those both mean the same exact thing. They both mean minor. Also, little m, in. So F minor. That's the same exact thing as F minor, which is the same thing as F minor, which is the same thing as F minor, which is the same thing as, of course, hopefully you figured this one out. If it says F minor, that means F minor. Anyway, you'll see all these different ways of saying minor. The minus sign with the little m, min, and then spelled out. That's not what's going on with this chord right here. There's none of that. So this is just a straight up F with a 7 and with a sharp 9. Yikes. So then here's your F chord. Here's your 7, root, down a whole step. That's the 7. Cool. And then the 9 would be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That would be your 9 right there. But this one wants a sharp 9. So we're going to have to sharp this. Sharp is the opposite of flat. So we're going to go slightly up from the 9. So that chord right there that sounds horrible is the awesome chord that sounds great in this song. F7 with a sharp 9 in there. Lots of different options, because the whole thing is like F minorish, which is that sound right there, right? That's the minor sound of the minor triad. But right here, they play a major 3, but we still have like this lingering minor-ish sound. At least that's what's going on in my ear. So like it's both of those are right-ish in this chord. The major and the minor kind of just smashed together. It's kind of cool. And also you have this like B, been, were. It's really like it's a lot of conflict in there. That's really cool. And then been working. This one right here is the B flat 7, and then you can B flat with a 7. And then we got this note in here, which technically would be considered a flat 9, because that'd be the 9, 1, 3, 5, 7, 9. So that'd be like a flat 9. So then we have that one. So it could be a B flat 7, flat 9, if you wanted to write it that way. And then G7, regular old G7, but maybe with a flat 9 in there. So we still have that F minor sound. So G7, and then C7. Also, this one could also have a sharp 9 or flat 9. So anyway, that's a lot of stuff right there. If I just play the triads, it would go minor. It says F at the top. Cool. How about we put in that minor 7? Here's that C. Then F. F again. Yes. Sorry, I'll play like that. All right, one more time. I'll try to throw in all the chords here. This, by the way, none of this applies to that chord. Don't get confused there. I was just showing you what's not in that chord. That's an F major chord with a 7 and the minorishness of the sharp 9. Okay, here we go. don't know. I don't think I did anything different in there. I was kept waiting for something, but I keep wanting to slow it down too. This really feels like it should be, especially with these lyrics. I don't know who came up with these lyrics, but yeah, it feels like it should be. I don't know. There, once again, like Nat Adderley, Cannibal Adderley, with all due respect, what do they know? All right. And with that, I think it's time for me to shut up and be done with this lesson. So main points, I guess, we're supposed to do this thing. Main points we could take away. The blues, that blues scale, if you haven't heard of that before, wow, there's a lot of stuff to enjoy in that thing. We talked about the difference between triads and sevens. We talked about like 17 different ways to write the word minor. Hopefully we learned these little like, well, we call these enclosures a lot of times, where you're like just playing the same note, but then you play the notes around it too. And you can just like throw them in and it sounds really cool and jazzy-ish. And so that's fun. What else did we take away? There's lots of conflict in here. We played all kinds of chords. They sound terrible, but in the context of this like dark, gritty chain gang feel here, it really seemed to work out for me. And then we talked about a 2-5. We didn't really talk about a 2-5-1. We pointed out a 2-5-1. So those might be the main things that I would take away from this. Hopefully some little nugget of that made sense to you and something you can practice. Till next time, I think it's time to just go explore, mess up, have fun, play some F blues. Or if you didn't like this, I don't know, go pick another song. There's lots of stuff out there. I'll see you next time, friends. Bye.